Hey, it's Don Skaggs with Empowered Inventing, the one place where we try to help you help other people by taking your innovation, the right opportunity, mixing that with sound wisdom so you can turn them into real things like products and businesses. Now, today, I want to talk to you about how to be creatively competitive. Because I'll have a lot of inventors and entrepreneurs that will come to me and they will say, Don, I had this great idea. And I went out to the store shelf or I went out on the internet and there it was. Gosh, somebody already beat me to it. It was already there. I'm just going to throw up my hands in despair and move on to something else. And sometimes that is an okay idea if you move over to a better idea and just know that you're on the right track. But a lot of times, if you stop there, you sometimes will miss a big opportunity. What am I saying by that? I'm saying sometimes seeing something successful in the marketplace that looks a lot like your idea actually validates that you were going in the right direction. Even if you end up doing something completely different, it says to you, this wasn't a crazy idea. Somebody else was successful with it. Somebody else had done this and put it in the marketplace and is making money off it, has a business off it, and is potentially making a living off of it. So if you stop there and you just throw up your hands, you could be missing an opportunity. And let me tell you why. Because you don't want to just try and be a Me Too product. No, you do not want to do that. Number one, they may have intellectual property. They may have a patent that you'd be infringing on. So you don't want to copy their product, even if you came up with it yourself. Because a lot of people think of the same thing. But there is this place where you can actually use your superpower. Did you know you had a superpower? If you're an inventor or an entrepreneur, you do. It's called inventing. It's called being creative. And come up with a creative new spin, something that's going to make it different, something that's going to make it better, something that's going to set it apart from what's out there. It's just taking that idea that you had, that you saw on the shelf, and it's taking it another step further. This is called the lesson of value adding to a product. That's what they talk about when they're talking about value add. You're actually taking something that already exists. Maybe it's an idea you had, somebody else had it, somebody else beat you to market with it, but you're adding a new, valuable, not just something for something's sake, but something actually valuable, something the customer will consider, oh, well, this one's okay, but wow, this one over here has this, and this one doesn't have it. So you put that creative spin on it. You put that new thing that will actually leapfrog over your new competition that you found on that store shelf. So let me give you some great examples of products that have done this. The ShamWow. You know the ShamWow is basically a cleaning cloth. I heard the person who created that product and actually was bringing that product to market, and she was actually telling me, she said, you know, it's just a cleaning cloth. But we put a creative spin on it. We put something special that made it different, that set it apart in the marketplace, that made and you talk about a really successful product. By the way, that was Lindsay Brooks that did that. A really successful product that took off. It was that product. Let me tell you another one. Somebody I personally know really well, Dan Atkinson, had come up with this product called the Grass Buster. Now, my wife looked at the first prototype of it. She looked at me and she says, you know, this is the putty knife, right? And I said, no, you're missing it. It's a putty, it looks like a putty knife, but it's got this special shaped edge on it that just cleans out the underside of any lawnmower perfectly and quickly. And he was successful in making and selling those. He's a great inventor story. I love to share when I go out and speak a lot. But it was something that, you know, maybe you used a putty knife before to clean out the underside, but with his product, he changed it just enough to make it unique, to make it different, to make it novel, and he ended up being very, very successful with it. And another great story of a widely successful product is the Miracle Mop. If you've not seen the movie Joy, the story of Joy Mangano and her Miracle Mop, and how she was just she was a young lady living at home, young mother living at home. That's what I was trying to think of, and she she didn't like her job, and she came up with this special mop. And I remember she went to one of these distributors that sold mops, and they said, "Go home, lady. You don't do this." I said, "Why would I want a mop that you could?" Because it could do special things. It had the special looped weaved, and you could detach the mop head. You could wash it. You could reuse it. And he said, "I just want them to wear the mops out that I'm selling. We have this old model here, and it's working just fine, lady. Go home." Well, she didn't listen to that, and you shouldn't either. A lot of times. Because she had something different, and she, by the way, ended up selling it in a very creative way that leapfrogged her competition, and ended up doing very, very well with it. Very well. If you watch, like I said, if you haven't seen the movie, we actually have Inventor Entrepreneur Night at the Movies. We may have that on video now, so you can actually access that and watch it, and actually watch us talk about what she was going through. It's actually, I think sometimes it's better than watching the movie, or it's nice to watch in addition to the movie. So anyway, there's a lot of examples out there of people who have done this. They didn't throw their hands up. They said, "Oh, well, look, I was on the right track. Let me figure out a way to make this even better and make it novel enough to where that," and that's what you have to ask yourself, by the way. Could this be made better? What could be made better about this product? And you have to think about it, and you have to access, you have to dig down deep sometimes and access that creativity, access that superpower, and ask yourself things like, what are the current pain points of the people that are using it like it is? So, and again, you have to totally immerse yourself, by the way, in these industries and markets if you really want to be able to do this stuff. You ask yourself, what do people say? Phrases that start with, "If I just had this," or, "This is nice, but, I really wished it had that." And that's when you start watching. You keep your ear to the ground, you watch for that kind of stuff, and then you come up with those things. Now all of a sudden you've got something new that you have. Somebody's already got a start on the market. He's already sort of proven the market for you, and you can see if you can do something with it your very, very self. Lastly, don't necessarily give up when you find something out there. You have the power to make this better. You have the power to make it different, to make it novel. New and novel, by the way, is what patents for inventions are all about. When you're writing a patent, and this is one of the things we teach in our patenting on a budget class. We actually teach. We say you are you're writing your patent. You're sort of telling a story. You're saying, well, here's this problem, and so far this is all the things. Here's some patents, and here's some ways that this has been tried to be solved. These are all things that have been done that have tried to solve this problem, and they were all worthy tries. But this is different. This is new. This is novel because it does this, and that makes for a good patent, a good invention, and if marketed right, a good product in the marketplace. So I hope this was helpful. I'm Don Skaggs. This is Empowered Inventing TV. Like and subscribe. Help us to build our tribe. If you're looking for more good information, good help, check us out at empoweredinventing.com, and I will look to see you at the next meeting, workshop, maybe one of our online classes, or on the next video.